On this episode, I'm going to be showing you 10 secret caulking tips to make you a master caulking pro. So stay tuned. Hi friends, welcome back to Fix This House. If you're new to the channel, consider pressing the subscribe and notification bell so you can always be in tune on DIYs, how-to videos, and product reviews that I do within this channel. So as a brand new DIYer, there's no getting away from it. You are going to be caulking in some point in time in your project. So hopefully, I hope this video will help you out on how you can accomplish a cleaner and much faster way to go and caulk around these jobs. So with that being said, let's get right to it. Let's go to tip number one. So tip number one is using the right caulking gun. Sure, you can use these cheap caulking guns that come in these big box stores, but you need to find one that is dripless, just like this one. And let me show you the difference. So this one right here is your typical caulking gun with your pin on the end, and you have this little lever that allows you to go forward and backwards. It has a little spring right here. Let me show you why these aren't the best ones to get. Now, the problem with these caulking guns with the push lever at the very end, spring activated, is that once you start using it like this and the caulking starts going out, it will continue to flow out like that. You see how it's starting to ooze out, and the only way to stop that is if you push on this lever at the end, and that should stop it. And sometimes that doesn't even stop it all the way, because a little bit still starts coming out. So I highly suggest you go upgrade and spend a little bit more on a drip-free or a dripless caulking gun. This one is by Newborn, and if you're interested on this one and all the tools I use in this video, I'll leave the links on the description down below. This one is a lot easier to use because you don't have that pin. It just goes back and forth without having to push down a pin like you were supposed to do with this one. Using a dripless caulking gun like this one will save you a lot of caulking headaches, and it actually will make your job a little bit faster and a lot cleaner. Caulking tip number two, whenever you get yourself a caulking tube like this, it doesn't matter what type, when you start opening it, try not to cut out a huge cutout like this. Now, given there are little markers on these things that tell you how much you want to cut out, but my high suggestions for you friends is that you just cut a little bit at a time. Maybe a 45-degree angle would be the best bet. Just cutting out straight like that will not give you a really good run or a really good smooth application. Again, cutting a little bit at the tip right here will allow you to save a lot more caulk and will reduce waste whenever you start running your hands or getting the excess out of there. Caulking tip number three is when you're applying caulk, don't go back and forth like this. Do a one smooth run. So let's go and apply it like this. So notice how the bead is nice and even if you just do a one continuous smooth run. Let me show you what happens if you go back and forth. So if you stop like that, you're gonna end up with those little ridges like that. Now, given that's a little bit exaggerated, but you can see that if you do stop along the way and you go back, you're gonna end up pushing that caulk back, and you're gonna create these little ridges, which you can probably go back and smooth it out anyways, but you're gonna end up losing a lot of caulk and wasting it. So caulking tip number four, after you cut your tip on a 45-degree angle, make sure that you go and label a reference line on the top so that you know which one is the top and the bottom, so you know where to point it every time you put your caulking gun down. You know exactly where you left off or which position to go back into. Arrow at the top, like that. So now you know that the arrow will be pointing to the right edge whenever you're applying this, because sometimes when you place this down, this tube right here will tend to roll around, and you might end up putting it on the wrong position like this, which will probably mess up your caulking job. So always put a reference line at the top, and this will help you out along that line. Caulking tip number five is creating a groove on the tip of your caulk. So let's go and do that. Let me show you two ways on how to do it. The first way to do it is you just get two sanding blocks if you have them like this and put them in a 90-degree angle like so. Since we already have a reference line at the top, you're just gonna follow that and you are gonna go create a groove just by sanding the tip just like this, so that you create a really nice pathway so that every time you place it on the corner, it doesn't rock back and forth. It will be always like kind of like a railroad on the track. Your train is always right there, and you're able to create this nice smooth run every time you put it on the edge like this one. So if you don't have sanding blocks, I have here a little piece of scrap, sanding disc from my orbital sander. You can make this into a 90-degree, like so, just putting a crease. Place it on the corner like this. You can go and run it like this so that you can have that V groove on this tube, like so. Create this little nice groove at the bottom of your caulking tip, just like so, so that when you place it right on the edge of this, it sits perfectly nice. And let's go try it out. Makes a really nice line. Sorry to interrupt you right quick, but if you're enjoying this video so far, please hit that like button down below. It'll greatly help out the channel. Thank you so much. And don't forget, friends, I'm giving away 2 $50 gift cards every single week to 2 lucky winners. It's very easy to enter. All you gotta do is be a subscriber, like and comment on any video that I post within this week, and I'll be posting the winners on my community tab on my YouTube channel every single Sunday. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Thanks so much, friends. Let's get back to the video. Caulking tip number 6 is try to apply your caulking little bit at a time. So I'm guilty of this before, where I get my caulking and I just want to try to get everything done. So I go and put so much, like just like so, and it ends up just like this huge mess, like so, like that. So you notice how you try to go and try to accomplish everything all at once, so that after you go and dab it like this, you're gonna get a lot of excess waste just like this. So the key tip for this is try to apply it little at a time, whether you go 2 to 3 to 4 passes, which will make your job a lot better. So let's go try to do it the correct way, using a little bit of passes at a time. Let's go run it with 1 small pass. Okay, there you have it. Let's go run it 1 more time. Get yourself a nice bead instead of having a huge goop all at once and having to waste all that caulking. So let me show you now tip number 7, and that's by using soap and water. Now I use this quite often, especially when I go and tile and caulk my bathroom. So this creates it so that you have a nice, smooth and easy way to do it without having to spread all that caulking and all the edges. You can use any soap you want, just mix it with a little bit of water, spray your caulk just like what I did, and spray your fingers just like so, and then just run it easily like this. Tip number 8, using masking tape is definitely going to get you the cleanest and the straightest lines that you got. I don't know, whoever tells you, whatever professional tells you, oh, don't use masking tape, it's unprofessional or whatnot. There's no shame on using masking tape to do your caulking job. I use it all the time. This one creates a perfect, nice, clean line and edges every time. If you have frog tape, it works best for painting as well. Place your masking tape to whatever height that you want. 1/4 inch at the top, 1/4 inch in the bottom. Make sure you push down the edges really nice. Another tip is place a buddy tab at the end so that you can easily pull this out after you place your caulking. We're gonna caulk this as messy as we can, so I'll just pretend like you're very brand new at this. This is my high suggestion to do if you are brand new at caulking, you're brand new DIYer, and you just want to get it done and nice the first time. Go spray it with a little bit of water, spray your hand as well. Okay, and then we're just gonna run it like so. We're gonna pass it. Now use your buddy tab and then pull out. There you go. You have a nice, professional, clean line every time. If you get nothing out of this, all these tips, I suggest that you stick this one and you stick with this technique, because it gets you that nice, straight, clean line every time. And let's go and focus in a little bit closer so you can see how straight it is. So see those nice, straight, clean lines? Now, given there are a little bit damages on this mock-up that I have, like there's no denying it. You will have those nice, clean lines every time. That's the best one. I got one for you so far. Tip number 9, if you don't want to use your fingers to go and smooth out that caulk, there are tools out there, which is this caulk applicator tool right here. So pretty much what it does is it smooths out the edges after you go and apply that caulking. Now there's other ways that you can accomplish this, is if you have a popsicle stick available. You can also use an old credit card that you're not using and use that to go on the edge. A popsicle stick or this caulk applicator right here you can use, and I'll leave a link on the description down below if you want something similar like this. So this actually brings me out to my last tip, which is using a wet rag. Now, if you do plan to use your fingers, just wet yourself a rag like this. Every time that you are running your hands like this, you can put the excess on the wet rag. And so you can continue on like this. Okay, so now you have a nice wet fingertip every time you go and apply that and smooth out that caulking. Because I love you friends, I'm gonna give you a bonus tip, and that's what you're probably asking. How do we preserve this if we don't end up using the whole tube? Why put this to waste? So let me show you what I use to go and save this tube. These are what I call caulk caps. These are pretty much these little rubber caps like here, and let me show you how to use them. Find yourself the end right there, and then you're gonna go put it at the very tip and just roll it down like so. And there you have it. You have a nice airtight cap on whatever caulking that you use, and you'll be able to reuse it. Actually, you can roll it back up and reuse this for the next job and just place it back right there. So if you're interested on this, I'll leave the link on the description down below as well. But these are the best ways to save these so that you can store this anytime, anywhere, and it will save you for future uses. So there you have it friends. I hope you found big value into this video. If you did, please share it with everybody you know. Please hit that big thumbs up, press the subscribe notification bell, and I'll see you friends on the next video.